Hello and welcome to City Beat. We are your central source of news and information for the city of Rocky Mount. And I'm your host, Tamika Keenan Norman. And I'm really excited about today's show because it's all about the huge Tackle the Tar event, which is coming to the Rocky Mount Sports Complex on May 20th. Second annual Tackle the Tar event. And here to speak with me all about it is Pat Daniel, a familiar name. I know everybody knows your name around this area. But for those who don't, Pat, tell me a little bit about yourself and what your role is with Tackle the Tar.
Well, it's an honor to be with you today, and I am excited to represent the Rocky Mount Rotary Club, who is presenting the Tackle the Tar. I am a native of Rocky Mount. Grew up here over in the Meadowbrook area, attended the local public schools, graduated from Rocky Mount High School, first generation college student, returned home and had an incredible year that I just completed with Nash Community College. So education obviously is very close to my heart, but also community service. And that is what the Rocky Mount Rotary Club is all about. Our principle is service above self.
You're a perfect fit for this event. You really are. And today is my first time meeting you, and I'm like, you have such a charismatic personality.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
my goodness.
that. I love our community.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about this event and what we can expect this year.
Well, there are a lot of changes, good changes this year in the event. It's a 3-day event. I know we're going to talk a little bit more about that, but it's not only an obstacle race, it's a family fun day. It's so many things that families that can come out and do. Children and grandchildren, ages and all stages can come out and be a part of this, in addition to the big 5K, which is really the part of the Tackle the Tar.
You know, it was interesting because during one of the committee meetings, Kristen Brabble, who's the organizer for the event, said last year folks from as far as Hawaii signed up for Tackle the Tar. Now, have you been getting people from out of state this year signing up already?
Yes, we have, all the way from Indiana, which is really interesting. Of course, Virginia, the western part of the state of North Carolina. I mean, there are prizes. In the heated runs, there are prizes for men and women, first place, second place, and third place. So that's a real attraction to the runners registering and coming to hopefully win those cash prizes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Any goals this year as far as how many people or how much money you want to raise for this event?
Well, you know, you always want to do better than the year before.
Right.
Last year, we had 400 registered runners, and we raised over $36,000. So certainly our goal for the second year is 401 plus runners. Obviously, we're planning on for about 500, and we would love to see to be able to give more than $36,000, $12,000 per school. That being Edgecombe Community College, Nash Community College, and North Carolina Wesleyan College. They each received that $12,000 to provide scholarships for local students to attend local colleges.
And you know, that's interesting because in just a few, we've got some additional segments. We're going to talk to some of those scholarship recipients
who are
very excited. You know, beyond the scholarships, you mentioned obstacle courses. Tell me about some of those obstacles.
Well, last year we had 15 obstacles, and this year we have 20. And last year, the majority of the obstacles were right around the Rocky Mount Sports Complex. Well, this year we're venturing out into Battle Park.
Oh, okay.
Battle Park is so beautiful. Our fearless leader, Kristen Brabble, took a few of us on a walk through the area where the obstacles will be set up at. And I'm excited for the runners. I'm not a runner, but we encourage walkers too. So you don't have to be a runner. You can be a walker to support this. But there is everything from obviously, you know, climbing walls to going over fences, over hay bales, to enjoying the beauty of the Battle Park with the embankments. You're going to get a little wet. There's also the infamous mud pit. Runners and walkers like to go through a mud pit. I manned that. I watched that last year as a volunteer, and that was interesting. So many, many fun things to do. And the bottom line, though, is if a runner or a walker comes up and they do not want to do a particular obstacle, all they got to do is go around it.
Okay.
So, you know, if you go, oh, I'm not getting in that mud pit and getting all wet or getting my hair dirty or whatever, all you got to do is walk around. So the course is set up to be as strenuous and as challenging as you want to participate, or can be as much fun as you want to be a part of.
And it seemed like so much fun. I saw the gallery of photos that
Yes.
Gary Hodges did last year. It seemed like so much fun.
They looked like they were having a great time, but they also
did.
looked like it was really working.
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
especially if you're running for the money,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's a timed heat, and so they're very competitive. They really are. Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier that this is a 3-day event,
Yes,
which
brand
last
new.
year it was just the one big event.
Right.
Tell me about those additional 2 days.
Well, on that Thursday, the 18th,
Mm-hmm.
Rocky Mount Meals is a wonderful sponsor, obviously very engaged in our community right now. They're hosting a special event on site, which will include music and food, silent auction.
Mm-hmm.
The runners can come out and pick their packets up that evening, so that's on Thursday.
Okay.
And then on Friday, the Rocky Mount Imperial Center for the Arts and Sciences is doing a kids' night, a family night. And it's all about a kids' movie with live music and food trucks and children's arts and crafts, all free. All free to come out and be a part of. And again, there's going to be a little kids obstacle race.
Oh, that's
very
cute.
safe, very safe, obviously. But the kids want to kind of tackle their own tar. And then again, the runners can pick up their packets that night. So those are 2 new event nights that we're real excited about because, it's not just about Saturday's event, but giving this community positive things to do. Obviously, being outside is good for the children and us adults, and just healthy choices.
And now, what time are those events on Thursday and Friday?
That's a really good question. The kids' movie night begins at 8:30, but the live music begins at 6.
Okay.
So that's for Friday night. And I do not have the time for Thursday evening, but I would imagine that would probably be around 6 o'clock also.
Yeah, and we can always direct folks to the website.
Please, tacklethetar.com. Yes.
So, sponsors, how can you be a sponsor for this event?
The sponsors are making all the difference, Tamika, because the registration fees are very realistic, very reasonable for an event like this. And there are ways to go to the website and offer sponsorship support, everything from $500 to $5,000. So there's different levels. And of course, the sponsorships are what offset the cost, the expenses of developing the obstacles and things like that. So we welcome all sponsors.
That is so true. Any additional comments or anything you want to say to folks who may be hesitant about joining the race because of the mud pits? And I think you kind of addressed that when you said you can go around, you can walk. Anything else you want to add?
Well, if you're not a runner or a walker and you like to get engaged, we need volunteers. And, volunteers can do anything like I did last year, standing by the mud pit, cheering them on, to helping with check-in and things like that. But everything's right there at the website. So if you go and you say, well, I want to register to be a volunteer, you can pick and choose your time and how long you want to be there. And I want to recognize the City of Rocky Mount because Parks and Recreation is very engaged in Tackle the Tar. Rocky Mount Rotary Club could not do it without your support, without the support of sponsors, and certainly the engagement of the community. So come out and join us. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It is, and thank you for involving us. We're having a great time with helping with this event. Last year I was a volunteer, since you mentioned that,
good.
and I was
Okay,
just in the
yes.
area with Junior Gill where we checked in folks' bags, and that was fun. And we had a chance to see where people were coming from as well.
It's a very unique day. I love it because the public schools will have a competition for the teachers. The community colleges and Wesleyan College will have a competition for the students in addition to these timed heats. So there's a little bit of everything for everybody.
It is. Thank you so much, Pat.
I've enjoyed being with you. Thank you for having me.
I've enjoyed you as well. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to be right back. We're going to speak with one of our scholarship recipients from the Tackle the Tar initiative. This is City Beat.
Do you know how many children play in teams in the Twin Counties? Well, 2,500 kids are learning to be good sports in athletic leagues all across Nash and Edgecombe.
Hello and welcome back to City Beat. I'm your host, Tamika Keenan Norman, and if you're just tuning into today's show, it's all about the huge event coming to the Rocky Mount Sports Complex on May 20th called Tackle the Tar, second annual Tackle the Tar event. And one of the initiatives, or one of the main points of Tackle the Tar, is providing scholarships to area students. And one such student is Colin Lee from Edgecombe Community College. Did I get that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I was pronouncing Colin correctly, but welcome to City Beat.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Colin's first time here in City Hall on City Beat Channel, and you're a student at Edgecombe Community College. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Colin. What's your year at Edgecombe, your major, all that good stuff?
I'm in my first year at Edgecombe Community College. I plan on going into the surgical technologist program next fall, and I'll graduate the following summer.
Okay, so you got to tell me what surgical technology is. Sounds really hard.
Surgical technologists work in the OR room. So during surgeries, they'll hand the tools to the surgeons and count the number of gauzes and just kind of assist in the surgeries.
That's very important.
Yes, ma'am.
Because if I'm having surgery, I want you to hand over the right tools.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So before we talk about the scholarship, why Edgecombe Community College? Because you told me you live in Wilson. Is that where you're from originally?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So my dad is actually in the respiratory therapy program right now at Edgecombe Community College.
Oh.
And I just I like the atmosphere a lot at Edgecombe, and it's a good learning environment for me.
Okay, so is your dad a student or he works there?
He's actually a student there. He's graduating this spring.
Isn't that amazing? Father and son. That's a good story. You'll have to tell Mary Tom Bass. She's their public relations person. That's a great story.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So how did it feel last year to be a scholarship recipient from this Tackle the Tar initiative?
Oh, it was awesome. It was a great feeling whenever the letter came through in the mail and I knew I got it, and it definitely made things a lot easier on me. Yes, ma'am.
How did you even hear about Tackle the Tar?
Well, I was registering for classes on the website, and actually, it might have been at the school when I learned about the scholarship, but I saw it through the Edgecombe Community website and filled out the application, and it was just went on from there.
And it's amazing because when you came on the show, I was thinking maybe you were a sophomore and you got the scholarship as a freshman at Edgecombe, but you got this as a high school student.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I mean, what made you start even thinking about scholarships at that time?
Well, it makes things a lot easier on the student without having to go through student loans and all of that and having to pay out of pocket, working a bunch of jobs, going through college. It definitely makes things a lot easier on the student.
So what was the amount that you received for this scholarship, and what was the criteria for funding?
For the Tackle the Tar scholarship, I got $1,000, and from what I understand, it goes into the Edge scholarship bucket. So I actually get all of my fees, books, and tuition paid for with the Edge scholarship through the Tackle the Tar scholarship.
That is good because books are very expensive.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, they really are. I remember when I was in school, which was year XXX, I'm not telling you, but they were expensive then,
Definitely.
They were. And what was the criteria for getting that scholarship?
You had to maintain a certain GPA through high school and have a certain ACT score through high school. Yes, ma'am. I believe it was a 3.0 GPA through high school and a 20 on the ACT you had to have.
Okay. So what are your thoughts about Tackle the Tar? I know before the interview we were talking, you said you couldn't participate in the actual event because you had to work.
Right.
But once you found out about this event, what were your initial thoughts about it?
When I found out about this event, I just really thankful for the Rotary Club who made it possible for the Tackle the Tar scholarship to happen for me, and just a lot of gratefulness to them. Tackle the Tar scholarship.
I can imagine so, because every bit counts.
Yes, ma'am.
It really does towards
Definitely.
higher education. It does. So congratulations to you on your scholarship as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
What are your ultimate goals?
Well, eventually, after I get my surgical technologist diploma, I want to work as that for a few years and kind of work my way up to a nurse and go back to school. And my goal eventually is to become a doctor later on.
Dr. Colin Lee.
There you go.
Do you want to reside? Do you want to continue to stay in this community?
I'm really just going wherever it takes me. I would like to start out in this community and kind of give back as I go, and if it takes me somewhere else, it takes me somewhere else.
I got you.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
we're really enjoying having you a part of the community now.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Thank
hopefully you'll be able to continue your future endeavors here.
Yes, ma'am.
What would be your advice to other area high school students or community college students, period, who are just starting as far as applying for scholarships? Any words of advice to them?
I would say it's definitely worth the time to fill out the applications for the scholarships. If you don't get it, the worst thing that can happen is you don't get it. Yes, ma'am. But it's definitely worth the time to fill out the applications, and it's much better than having to pay back student loans years later.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to you. Excited to hear that your dad is at Edgecombe Community College too.
Yes,
Are you going to try to make the event this year?
I am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm
Are
planning
you
on it.
participating?
Not 100% sure, but I plan on being there.
Not sure about getting in the mud yet,
There
huh?
you go. There you go.
Thank you, Colin, for joining us on City Beat, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in as well. This is not the only scholarship recipient that we have on the show. Coming up in just a few moments, we're going to talk to a student at Nash Community College. It's all right here, coming up next on City Beat.
Last year, farmers in Nash and Edgecombe counties raised $420 million from selling crops and livestock. Agriculture continues to be of growing importance in the Twin Counties.
Hello and welcome back to City Beat. I'm your host, Tamika Keenan Norman, and if you're just tuning into the show today, we're talking about the big Tackle the Tar event, which is coming up May 20th at the Rocky Mount Sports Complex. We spoke with Pat Daniel earlier, who gave us the 411 about the event, and also told us that one of the most important aspects of this event are the scholarship recipients. So we spoke with Colin Lee a little earlier of Edgecombe Community College, and today we have Miss Sabrina Edwards of Nash Community College, who won the scholarship last year.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Welcome to City Beat, Sabrina.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit, before we talk about the scholarships, I asked Colin this question too. Tell me a little bit about yourself, what your major is at the college, all that good stuff.
Well, I'm an accounting major. I have almost finished my first year. I started last summer. We'll graduate next May, hopefully, on time. I've been in accounting for over 25 years, but now I'm back trying to get a job, discovered you can't get a job without a 2-year degree, at least. I'm mother of 3. My oldest one's in college, too. My youngest one still in high school. So I'm trying to do it all, go to school, too.
Now, the daughter that's in college too, is she also at Nash?
She's at Beaufort Community College.
Okay.
She's studying to be an office administrator.
That
So
is
she
wonderful.
inspired me to go back to school after 30 years.
That is good. And Colin was up here earlier from Edgecombe Community College. He said his dad is in college too. He's also at Edgecombe Community College. So it's good to see those things.
Yeah, I'm surprised going back how many people my age and older are actually going back to school now.
Learning never stops.
No, it does not. That's for sure.
Exactly. So tell me how you feel about winning the scholarship and how did you find out about it?
Oh gosh. Well, it was a shocking surprise. Nash is really good about setting up the right people with the right scholarships. So a lot of them you don't have to even apply for. You just put in a general application, and I won it, and I was ecstatic.
Wow.
So I told them, whatever I could do to help get the word out and help future recipients, I would be glad to do.
And here you are.
And here I am.
So what did you do with your scholarship funds?
Well, part of it paid for me to go to school this last semester, and I had enough left over that I can actually take a couple of classes this summer so I can graduate on time.
Okay.
So it was a lot of help.
Okay. And I know different colleges handled it differently, like Wesleyan gave one student the scholarship, and Edgecombe had a number of students. But how did it work for you all? How much did you receive?
Well, I only got the scholarship for the spring semester, so I got $1,000, and I think there was actually 4 of us that won the scholarship for this year.
Okay, so a number of folks
Yes.
that won it. Yeah.
Yes.
So what are your ultimate goals, Sabrina, and how do you think this scholarship will help you with your future endeavors?
Oh, my ultimate goal is to graduate next May with my accounting degree, and then I plan on going next fall to get my business degree because it's only 6 more classes, so I have a dual degree, and then I want to work in an office somewhere locally, either as an office manager or in accounting.
Okay, so no plans on leaving the area anytime?
No, not anytime soon.
Well, that's
no.
a good thing.
I want to stay local.
So once you heard, hey, you got this Tackle the Tar scholarship, what did you find out about the event, and what did you think about the event?
I think it's a wonderful event to get the word out, help future recipients get money that, otherwise they couldn't afford to go to college. They can now afford to go to college. I think it's a great event, and everybody should definitely help out.
Exactly. Have you ever thought about participating in Tackle the Tar?
I thought about maybe not this year, but maybe next year when I have a little bit less on my plate.
Exactly. And Pat was on earlier, and at first I was a little hesitant because I was like, what about the mud pit? And she said, well, you can go around the mud. You can walk. You don't have to run. I was like, okay, they're making it really easy for
Yeah.
everybody. Good
See,
stuff.
the way I go, I would fall into the mud. That's just me. My husband said he can't take me anywhere.
You
so,
can't think that way.
well,
But what would be your advice to other students, maybe those who are just starting out? You've been in your field for years, but for those who are just starting out, what would be your advice to them in terms of, applying for scholarships and trying to get some help?
it's definitely worth it, even if you think you're not eligible to win anything. You never know. Definitely set goals. That's what I've done. Set goals for myself, so I have something to measure up to. And so far, I have achieved all my goals that I have set for myself. So I keep setting higher and higher goals.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Anything you want to add, Sabrina?
Just that no matter what your age is, you can do it if you have the mindset to do it. You can do it. Because like I said, I've been out of school for 30 years. I never thought I could go back, and I have, and I've got 4.0, which I never thought I could accomplish. So I'm reliving my dream.
All right. I was going to ask you why you felt like you were deserving of this scholarship, but with a 4.0, hey,
Yes.
do you have to say anything else?
I guess not. I have worked hard to have that 4.0.
Well, Sabrina, thank you so much for joining us on
Well, thank
City
you.
Beat today. Congratulations on that scholarship, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, and for spreading the word, encouraging others to apply to.
You're welcome.
All
Thank you
right.
for having me.
Yes, thank you for tuning into City Beat as well. And if you want to find out more information about Tackle the Tar, you can always visit the website at tacklethetar.com. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of City Beat.